If your brand belongs in the heart of the yachting world, this is where it happens. Yachting International Radio reaches over 1 million yachting professionals and enthusiasts every month, with 77 million impressions, 220,000 social followers, and 74,000 podcast subscribers. Our hosts are insiders, crew, captains, CEOs, trusted voices shaping the industry. This is targeted, high-impact advertising in a luxury niche. Visit yachtinginternationalradio.com/advertise. Your audience is already listening.
Top of the morning, afternoon, and evening, folks. It's Captain Liam here on Motor Yacht Unbridled in Alaska. And to my east, a couple of hours, we've got a lovely couple here, Timmo and Gemma. We're going to be talking about a book that's been published, Sailing Through the Excess. How are you both?
Great. How are you doing?
Great, thanks.
I'm good. I'm excited about this conversation. And so for the audience out there, Sailing Through the Excess kind of pulls back the curtain on a world few glimpse. It's like we're billionaires and royals and the Hollywood stars. They kind of drift between these ports and floating paces. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And what made you come up with that? Or what point in your career did you realize that this is an interesting life we live as captains? And
It's definitely been an interesting life, and I think a lot of the experience that I've talked with a lot of people over the dinner tables and discussions and stuff, people just said, you really need to write a book. That your stories are super amazing, and we'd love to hear more. It's like basically conversations could have gone on for hours and hours, but that's kind of what led me to thinking, with all of the experiences that I've been lucky to go through in my life in regards to traveling the world, chasing the sun, and basically meeting some amazing individuals throughout my life. And I think it just had to be told.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to read it, actually. I've read a lot of books, and this is the first one that kind of in yachting where I really think it takes us behind the scenes. It's like a memoir of your journey, but it's brought to life by Gemma, your life partner we talked about, and you're a bit of a storyteller. So kind of when did you kind of get into the picture there, Gemma, and say, okay, let's do this. Let's challenge ourselves and challenge our relationship, of course, and bring this book to life?
Well, we met each other while working in a really ancient property here in Canada. And it all began, like Timmo said, he was starting to telling me those stories. And somehow I just got captivated by them. And we decided to write a book. He had very clear that he really wanted to do so, but he didn't really know how to do it. And since I had experience in that, in the storytelling and writing books, I just told him, I can do that for you.
Wow.
So we just teamed together, and it was like a couple of years of work.
Yeah, roughly. She took a look at what I'd already kind of put down, and then she said, "Oh, it's interesting, but it needs a little bit of work."
Yeah.
And so when that's where Gemma comes in. She took all of these amazing stories that I had and kind of brought them to life for me and us as we've collaborated quite well during this whole journey.
Now, tell me the picture. Is it you? Sorry, go on, Gemma.
Sorry to interrupt.
No.
I just want to think that, to be honest, it was like amazing stories, but they were not connected to each other. So the challenge here were, other than storytelling, gave more context to some research, document specific things that he was mentioning in the stories, and also introduce some current topics of discussion like climate change or gender equality at sea, the Me Too movement, etc., to make it more appealing to the readers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the gender inequality at sea, it's fascinating. It's one of the things that really upsets me in my career. I see you just saw a female, our second officer is a female on deck, and I'm like, we need to have a balance. We can't have this inequality on these bridges, and on deck and different departments.
Important.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a big point, but it kind of, Timmo, this is a bit of an unknown. You've left a very comfortable life at sea as a successful captain and mariner. You've kind of stepped into this writing of the book. Can you give us a little image? Is it kind of you sitting there with the sun, with a big long beard, with a typewriter, or is it notes on the balcony with a glass of wine? Just give the audience an image of what is the author Timmo look like in your space, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, well, he definitely looks like some probably one of the latest PRs that we put out over Instagram would be definitely me sitting back with a laptop and probably more with an espresso and just basically working away and enjoying the sun. Wherever it's sunny, that's where I'd like to be.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you've.
But I'm in Canada right now currently. But yes,
Well,
no, it's beautiful here where we are right now up in the Rockies. You know, we've been pretty lucky, and we're not experiencing a lot of the wildfires where we currently are, which is a big thing.
Yeah, the summer's coming. I mean, the summer comes with positives, but it comes with the reality, as we talked about, the climate change. And I see these glaciers, you know, we're talking about the book, you know, starting through excess, but I see these glaciers even after a year. I went to West Mendenhall Glacier and I'm seeing a physical change in a year. And I'm like, oh, that's scary. I looked at the picture of my last year and picture of July this year, and I can see the change, even small, but it's a subtle. You know, it's
Yeah, you
important.
can definitely see it. I've had the opportunity to be up in Greenland too, up in Disco Bay, and watching what the environment is doing up there, and that's why we put it in the book as well.
Yeah.
You know, it was a part of the experience, but you know, I just felt that people needed to hear about that kind of stuff and include that in the book as well. The environment change is really doing a lot to our world that we are ignoring, but they shouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a government issue, it's a political issue, but it's also the people on the ground. It's the people who are fishing, catching fish illegally. Like, we had Alaska Fishing Game yesterday, and they were fantastic. And they're like, here's the rules, here's the parameters, call us anytime. We don't want fish brought on board that are too big, too small, and this is why. And I thought, yeah, that's where it comes down to, is these countries pushing the regulations to the people to understand that fish over a certain size are breeding fish. Fish under a certain size are not worth filleting and eating. So it's the fine line. So now tell us a little bit about the glamour. Everyone thinks it's the glamour of yachting. You know, what's the biggest myth that you kind of feel when you deal with the billionaires and the royals and the celebrities? What's the biggest myth that you see?
I think the biggest myth is that people kind of think they're on a 24/7 holiday. And that's you know, it's even the fact that billionaires, royals, and celebrities, I mean, they work hard at what they do, you know, and it's a 24/7 business for them. You know, they're constantly in transit and constantly working on their brand, and it's an important thing for them to continually advance that. And I think a lot of that gets missed, you know, where they think it's the tends to think that this must be a wonderful life, being able to party and go wherever you want. But you know, there's always a cost for everything that you want, that you thrive for. You know, and you have to be willing to commit yourself. And that's kind of what you see once you start working within that industry, within the industry. You start to really realize that these people give up a lot to get to where they are, and in order to keep it, they have to continue to work.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I've worked with some wealthy Russians, and I see the workload, and they're always on the phone, and the kids are playing, and they're still on the phone on the swim platform, and Daddy, let's play. And I'm like, okay. And we entertain the kids, and the dad has an hour or two off a day, you know, and that's their holiday, you know. So it is.
That is their holiday. Absolutely. Yeah, 100% agree with that.
Yeah, so people look at them and sometimes think how lucky, and it's like, well, it's a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice, and that's why, as a captain, I find it very special, the opportunity we're given to give these clients an opportunity to relax. And it takes them a couple of days, but once they settle into the different yachts they're on, they do find that space, and they're special moments that we create. You know, that's the highlight for me.
Yeah, it's definitely all about creating those special experiences for them, you know, and giving them that small bit of time that they do have off, and giving them that service and bringing it to that level that's expected and taking it further.
Yeah. And do you have a moment you could share that you go, people won't believe this. Do you have a moment that you can share? I know the book's there and I'm going to be reading the book, but do you have a moment for the audience to say, you know, people just wouldn't believe this is real?
You know, there's a lot of them. For one, you know, let's circle back to, I guess, my first yacht, and, you know, coming up the stairs and hearing the music that's playing out of the salon, and it's sounding amazing. So walk in through the sliding doors and see there's David Foster on the piano with Quincy Jones and Kenny G playing the alto sax, and that was just an amazing experience. Something like that you need to really put in the book. Those are the things that have to be written down. You know, and on top of that, it's one of those things where, you know, those people lead into, they have a larger circle of friends as well, which kind of led to me meeting Oprah, which is really great. I didn't know that Quincy and her were really good friends, and yeah.
Wow. Yeah, even just those two stories you share, even I'm amazed. You know what I mean? Like, we have famous people on board a lot, and I'm just, every time I'm like, but they are humans. In the end of the day, that's what I want people to understand. They want to be treated, you know, treat them with respect, but treat them also as a human being, and be comfortable, be polite, have a good level of service, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, I've been lucky to meet some really outstanding people in my journey, so to say. And it's been definitely one of those things that I felt needed to be written down, and we put it on paper, and it produced us sailing through the excess.
Yeah, well, you're really teasing me now. I've had this vision since I was young of writing a book. Well, not when I was young, but after so many years on different vessels, and I'm getting to 47 now, life through a porthole. Because I feel my life has kind of gone through a porthole of just seeing this world in a different. Yeah.
Really good fun.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to be that old person on an Alaskan fishing lodge, sitting there with a book, and you know, I've still got a lot to do in my career. You know, I've done the Northwest Passage, I've done the Arctic, I've still just got a lot I want to achieve, because I really enjoy what we do. It's a really unique experience being out there at sea with these people. For me, Andrea Bocelli was one of my highlights. For the audience out there, meeting Andrea Bocelli, having him on a boat, and he had me select the music to listen to for the cruise, and I selected the Gypsy Kings. And
yes.
So I was sitting beside Andrea Bocelli, listening to the Gypsy Kings, cruising around Florida, thinking, this is an unreal world we live in. You know,
it really is. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing the amount of people that we kind of interact with in this industry.
Yeah, but how do you turn it? Like like we talked about it. The story is impossible to ignore. The book's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to reading it. But how did you bring it to life? I guess that's where Gemma comes in.
This is where Gemma definitely comes in. Yeah. She, you know, like she mentioned, you know, there was a mishmash, so to say, of it was like
a passage plan here and a passage plan there, and you're like,
yes, yeah, you know, and there was so many different variables that we needed to put together, and we in collaborating, putting them together, I definitely needed to rely on her expertise in regards to the storytelling side, and how to. I had no idea on researching and all of the factuals and making sure that everything worked out, so that we could get that out there to a publisher, and we're really happy that Pegasus decided to pick us up.
Yeah, I saw that. I went through the website, Pegasus Publishing. It's quite amazing. And Gemma, what's one thing that you'd like the readers to kind of get from this book, or a takeaway that you personally think they should get? Even a lesson in life, you know?
Sorry?
Even a life lesson, for example.
A life lesson, I would say, don't be afraid of getting out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Because you're missing so much out there.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
absolutely the life lesson I take. And since I work at sea as well, not on board yachts, but cruise ships, I kind of connect with the sacrifices behind. So probably this was the reason I think I was able to bring to life this book because I understood the background somehow, the long shifts and the sacrifices that comes with it.
Yeah,
Go on, Timmo.
yeah, it's definitely it was definitely a match there for sure. We definitely understood each other where we came from a very similar background, and we both gave up a lot to do what we had done in so far in our careers. And with us collaborating on the book, it was a great match, wasn't it?
I have to say the difficult part wasn't actually writing the book and the storytelling behind, because I'm used to it. It was writing it in English.
Not a first language.
It's not even my second language. It's German.
Timo, pero hablas español un chino nada. Timo.
Not even my second language. It's my third one. My mother language is Catalan.
I see.
So first of all, speak Catalan, then Spanish, and then English. So that's quite a big challenge, which I improved along the journey and the chapters. Last ones I was doing better, right?
She did amazing on the last couple of chapters. There was a lot of grammar check from my side, and going through the actual each and every chapter, and then we were rejigging them as a little bit, as you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was her English improved so much.
Thank you.
That her last couple of chapters was more me just saying, "No, you've got this. You know, we can go with this."
Yes, and there's a lot to share here. I mean, it's wonderful to see you both together. I can see the energy between you. It's really symbiotic. And this book, I'm sure, would have had its highs and its lows, but it's definitely part of your journey in your relationship. And I think that's what people miss the most, is that bonding, that relationship. For example, the other day, I have my little captain's jumper here, and the other day, it's only a 60-meter yacht I'm on. But I was walking on the bridge, having my tea here this morning, and there was a big cruise ship beside me in Juneau. Huge cruise ship. And the captain was out on his bridge having his tea and with the same jacket. And we both looked at each other and waved at each other. And I'm like, that's the connection you miss at sea. You miss this human connection with people that understand the space. And, tell us your journey, Gemma. You mentioned cruise ships. How did you get into the maritime sector?
It was just a crazy sudden decision. I've always got out of my comfort zone. I've changed career and locations so many times in my life. Every time I feel I'm not happy anymore where I am or with who I am, I just change it. And cruise ships just came to my life unexpectedly. It was a journey of 5 years, going from one side to the world to another one. It's small villages. There's lots to manage. It was a public relationship on board. It was quite of a journey, actually.
And what role did you have? Are you still on cruise ships now?
No. I'm now a content creator. I use my background in hospitality and marketing, PR, to just bring into life stories while traveling.
Wow, that's fascinating. I'm really interested in that now. I've started this journey of that social. It's only 2 years ago I started social media and different things, and then this captain's chat started. Similar kind of Timmo is I've met so many beautiful people on my journey at sea. And whether it's agents ashore, like in Panama, Alex Risi, a beautiful man who's an agent, and there's different people that I've said, you've got to tell your story. And that's where I've started this captain's chat. So it's an honor to have you both here.
Well, thank you. It's an honor for you to have us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it.
And Timmo, what's your journey? Is it from Canada, like from the Rockies that you grew up, or?
Actually, I was born in Toronto. So like most East Coast people, you tend to want better weather. So we moved to the West Coast. And I mean, I've gone back and forth a few times, but then, I was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time in regards to my journey into the yachting sector. After many, many years working in the hotel and restaurant industry in the hospitality land-based, and I was in the right place at the right time, and I just opened up a brand new wine and tapas lounge in Vancouver, and I had the PA from Dennis Washington on board. I mean, not on board. Sorry, come in that evening for dinner, and he was kind of blown away with what we were doing, and he felt that I would be an amazing fit to the yacht that he was kind of managing for the owner. And I thought, well, I know nothing about yachting, so at that point stage, it was a new thing for me, and we met in a major hotel downtown Vancouver, and we went through a wonderful lunch, and which led to going on to the yacht and meeting the owner and spending pretty much many hours there. And I just, I think when I stepped on board and walked into that elevated kind of environment, I knew right then and there that is exactly what I was looking for,
Wow. And how did the roles change? I mean, that was the first meeting, and what was your role on that yacht? And then it evolved from there?
Yeah, this is before the interior manager role kind of evolved in the yachting industry. But back then, I was a chief steward. Just basically using my service knowledge and skills, and also having a culinary background a bit as well.
Yeah.
So they that kind of role kind of fit for me, and it led me to the Pacific Northwest, heading up to Stewart Island, and then spending some time before we actually went on our first full sea journey with the Testa 3, which kind of led to me meeting Oprah. And kind of just, it was an amazing, it's been when you look at it, it was an amazing journey right from the start, and it was exciting. It was kind of what I was looking for in my career at that point in time, was to look for something different, get away from the same thing that I had experienced over the past 20 plus years. And this opened up a brand new avenue for me, and a world of excitement that I thought, it could try for a couple of years. But as you know yourself, once you start, it's amazing. It's hard to get away from.
Yeah,
And it's
well,
it's definitely
I mean, I grew up in a restaurant, a fine dining restaurant, so I think we're resonating on different levels here. My father's a chef, two brothers are chefs. They run 3 restaurants in Byron Bay, Australia. And we had a maitre d' when I was young, from when I was very young to when I left home. And he was like a magician with people. And you seem like that energy, just the way you can read a room, the way you can, work with clients, and, you've got these opportunities, but it's well-deserved, obviously. You don't get to meet Oprah and see Quincy Jones just by being, a nice person. You get it by the skill sets you've developed by creating these spaces and these spaces where people feel welcome. It's almost, I'm not sure, would you resonate a little bit with like like in an orchestra where you've got the conductor? That's almost what you're doing in a way.
true, very true. Yeah, I mean, we're creators of experiences, and being able to engage people and not being afraid to do that is a very important thing. You have to be a bit of an extrovert.
Yeah, very much so. And I do love it. Like it's funny. I'm a different person off charter to on charter in some ways. When the clients arrive, I'm like, okay, now crew is when we want that 100% and that 110%, because I always say every step, every breath matters with these clients at this level. Yeah. And the industry is getting harder and harder and harder to keep the same thing. So we create these experiences, but every now and then I go, let's go back to basics. And when we take clients ashore with a kayak and they do a crab boil or smoked salmon on the beach, that connection to earth and Mother Nature is what I find is one of the best things people can find,
Most definitely. Yeah, I've experienced quite a few of those throughout my career, and those are the best ones, actually. I find that the guests get more from it, and I think they appreciate it more, that it's more that realism, and just step away from what they experience on board the yacht, and to go shoreside for short periods and like little trips that are on little where I've done where we've taken an antile in the Maldives and set it up for a beautiful dinner right there on the beach, and that was that took them away from the boat and brought them into something completely different that they'd ever experienced. And I think they loved it so much. It was an amazing day.
Yeah. So we're kind of going away from the book, and I'm really excited about the book, but we're kind of resonating on different levels here. You know, starting through the excess. What's one of your one or two tips that you'd give people, you know, from your experience with ultra high net worth individuals to help them understand the level of service that's required? Is it about space? Is it about pace? Is it about standards? What's your kind of take on it, your advice?
Well, obviously, you know, you can never be afraid to step off anywhere. And that's the most important thing, you know, step out, like as Gemma mentioned, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, because, you know, it's so important. You get so much more when you do that. You know, the standards, as you know, in yachting are very high. And I think that the biggest thing is to basically don't be afraid to step out of that zone. You know what's expected, but take it just to that next level. And that's kind of what our clients are looking for when they're on board.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to having our weekly meeting on Monday, and I might quote you if that's okay, Timmo. Timmo and Gemma, the authors of Sailing Through Excess, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. I say it a little bit more competitively, like I say, don't be afraid to shoot. If you don't shoot, you'll never score. Because the World Cup's on at the moment, so soccer's in the mind, and Canada did amazing, and Spain, are they going to win, Gemma?
We'll see on Sunday.
We'll see on Sunday. Yeah. Did you know Messi baptized Yamin Amal?
Yeah.
I think that's
that's going to be interesting. As a Barca hooligan that I am, my heart is divided.
Yeah, very much so. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one, but it's a beautiful game. Now, in closing, what's some of the things we talked a lot about the book? We talked a lot about the standards and luxury and the history and the maritime sector, global warming. Where's your space? What feeds you and what gives you that calmness to keep going in life? Is there some wellness advice that you'd give people out there to try and find a balance? Because what I've learned, Timmo and Gemma, if you don't have that balance yourself, you can't exude that to others and you can't help them get to that level. So how do you two find a balance?
Getting out there, getting... You know, I think it's basically disconnecting and getting yourself back out to nature for sure. Yeah. You know, we enjoy a good hike together, and it gets or individually, and getting our own time away and disconnecting. Right? It's important to be part of nature. It's what we're there for, to experience what the world has available to us. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just getting out of the crowds and connecting with the nature. And I would say as well, feeling that you have a life that truly belongs to you.
Yes.
The fact that you're feeling happy, it always impacts the others.
Yeah. Yeah, very much.
I would say this is so much important, to feel happy with who you are and with what you do in life.
And if you don't be afraid of change. Don't, step out of your comfort zone, as the wise author and publisher Gemma and Timmo say. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. It's funny, a young crew member today, she's varnishing, and I said, "Okay, have you done this before?" She said, "No." I said, "Perfect.
Give it a try. You never know until you try."
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, for me, nature's probably the most grounding, I find, and I think it's hard. People get stuck in their world in life, and they just get in this cycle of this is important, this is important, this is important. And in the end, when you go out to nature and see 100-year-old tree or 1,000-year-old glacier, you really levels you a little bit and realizes how unimportant you almost are, but how much you can give back to the world and give back to people around you.
And show an appreciation of where you are too, and look at the beautiful world that we live in, although sometimes it doesn't look as glamorous as, with what's going on throughout the world, but, there is a lot of positive that's out there, and being able to disconnect and go see some of the most beautiful things that we've seen ourselves. And, it's very gratifying.
Yeah, very much so. Very leveling. I mean, it's a big shout out to Yachting International Radio and Raya for putting this out today. What's some places that kind of stand by? Obviously Barcelona is a beautiful part of the world, but Gemma, where's your little favorite place that you've visited that you'd like to go? I want to go back there. What's on your?
I'll be honest. I'm from the Mediterranean. That's just the best place ever in the world. You can
That's bias.
have good people, good weather. Yeah.
It is good. It is good. A morning in Croatia or a morning in southern Spain or France or Sardinia is really world class,
I can travel a lot. I've visited more than 60 countries, but the Mediterranean has definitely something special.
Yeah. And where's your favorite place in the Mediterranean? Like Palma or Barca?
I'm Catalan. You got your answer.
Yeah, exactly. What's the name of the little bay in the north where Dali has the museum? In the north of...
It has lots of museums. Can be Figueras, can be...
I think it's Figueras. North of Barcelona, near the French border. There's a little bay there. We anchored up for about 3 or 4 days.
Very Costa Brava, yeah.
Yeah, that was special. And yourself, Timmo, where's your kind of, whether it's a bucket list you want to go to or one of your favorite locations in the world?
Well, I guess one of my most recent favorite location and would definitely have to be Southeast Asia. I had the opportunity before we were hit with the pandemic to after finishing one of my last projects and a build, I decided to do a little bit more traveling, get a little bit more of my own personal time and disconnect from that. And Bali in Southeast Asia, we did Thailand, Vietnam. So, that to me gave me a true disconnect and brought me back to learning something that I really wanted to focus on, which was yoga. Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's your first journey with yoga?
First intense journey with yoga. Yeah, you really got to commit yourself. You're in the Mecca area there for sure. Definitely. I was in when Bali and then went to a 30-day event in southern Thailand, which was great.
Yeah. Oh, that's special. I did one. I've got to get back into it. I did one last year in Mexico with my mother. My mother's a Reiki instructor and done a lot of yoga and different types. And so we kind of put this week together where we were on the Sea of Cortez and we did a week of yoga. And it was probably the first time in my life I was like afraid, nervous, fearful. And it's that step out of your comfort zone. And after falling over a couple of times, I said, well, it's my journey in yoga. I don't need to do exactly what the instructor's doing. It's my body, and let me experience that.
Absolutely.
And he was really good. It was Troy Adi from Trinidad, and shout out. But it was a unique experience. He's doing another one in Panama, so I'll probably join him there. But that's a week that you take for yourself, and it rebuilds you.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely does rebuild you. I mean, it definitely gave me an insight to actually really a whole lot of mindfulness, and that was it was a journey for sure. It was something I'd never forget. And I want to bring Gemma along with me next time. So we're gonna redo that to an extent. So we're going to definitely head back to Australia. Actually, we both decided that's one place that was not far from Bali as well. It's only like a 5-hour flight, so we're hoping to maybe do a little bit of a book tour down in the Southeast Asia area, and we hear the books selling quite well in Australia as well. So we're excited about that.
Well, have you heard about a little town called Byron Bay?
Absolutely. One of the people that when I left Vancouver, who's a really good friend of mine, and he's in the book as well. He actually got married, and his wife is from Australia, from Byron Bay, and that's where they live now, actually. So it'd be great to catch up with Jay. It would be really amazing.
Yeah, well, my brother runs, my family owned a restaurant there called Fig Tree Restaurant, and it's one of the biggest wedding venues in Byron Bay. And Byron Bay Weddings is the company. And when you're there, I look forward to maybe, I'll put you in contact with the family, but it's a special part of the world.
Great.
I grew up there and I'm still looking for a place like it. And it's that saying, I have it on my home. I live in Dominican Republic and we have a house in Montreal, but I have this saying in my home: I've traveled the world in search of what I need and I return home to find it. You know, and that's that saying, you keep looking, and home is where you're comfortable, I guess, but a place like Byron Bay definitely is a special part of the world.
Well, we're looking forward to going and visiting. So
Yeah, we'll give you heads up.
We'll definitely will give you heads up.
Yeah, when are you going to go? What time of year you think?
I
Still deciding. I don't have those.
Yeah, I think, well, especially not when it's too hot. We want to. We know that it can be a bit. Yeah, exactly. We want definitely trying to avoid it when it's crowded, for sure.
Yeah, that spring's nice. And are there any projects in the world that kind of have your excitement right now in the luxury yachting sector? We know Four Seasons, we know Ritz-Carlton. There's a lot of excitement for me in the yachting sector that these boats are getting smaller, more exclusive. Yachts are getting bigger. Are there any projects you're excited about that you see?
At the moment, no. To be honest with you, you mentioned the Ritz-Carlton one that just came out. That's very exciting to see that, absolutely. And I think I just saw a conversion that just came out from what used to be a utility tanker kind of, and I found that to be very fascinating as that just came out, and I was like, wow, that's a great utilization, taking something old and rebuilding it into something, and instead of scrapping it, which I felt was one of the most productive that I've seen coming out of the yachting industry just recently.
Yeah, there's one called Ulyssia. Have you heard of that?
No.
Ulyssia. Very interesting. Have a look at it. Life Without Boundaries. It's a project that's happening. I believe it's an Australian gentleman. I'll try and put you in contact with him. That's gone through the sector. Started as a dishwasher in a restaurant, and now he's at the forefront of this vessel that's being created. It's in Florida. Their office is. But I think you'd find it, being that high-end luxury market, this is a project that's coming out in the next 3 to 5 years that's really going to, I think, change what people see as a standard.
I'd love to get connect with that. That sounds great.
Yeah, well, I'll put you in contact. Anyway, we've got so much to talk about. Well, we have to finish this at some point. It's usually 15 to 20 minutes. But I think we've gone through a great journey on this Captain's Chat, and I'm actually really excited to watch this again and share it with my wife and maybe even talk about my own book one day in the future, Life Through a Porthole,
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've got some great stories to tell as well.
But yeah, but not Barbara, not Oprah, Oprah. Anyway, folks, thanks for joining us. How can people get a hold of you? Where can they find the book? We talked about Pegasus Publishing. I think it's on Amazon as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It's you got it on bookshop.org and rarewaves.com. Goodreads got it as well. But the fastest way to pick it up, of course, you can pick it up directly through Pegasus. You can order it straight through their website. But the fastest way to get it, of course, being Amazon Kindle.
Okay. Amazon Kindle. Really interesting story. Starting through the excess, it really pulls back the curtain of luxury kind of yachting. And it's kind of a memoir from Timmo, and kind of the story's been brought together by Gemma. We're wonderful to have you here, Gemma. And thank you very much, Timmo and Gemma, for your time. Check out the book, everyone, and stay safe. Enjoy Mother Ocean.
Thanks so much for having us.
Having us, Liam. That's awesome. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Have a great
Pleasure.